Gerry, welcome again.
Hey, James.
Yeah, we talked a while ago that we'd like to discuss about some unexpected surprises for 2015.
That's right.
Yeah, we know that actually at the end of the year, everyone, fund managers, analysts, came out with their so-called surprises. But in my opinion, none of them are really surprised. So we should talk about something more unexpected. That means no one had thought about, shall we?
Sure, but I mean, these things have to be kept in context. It's got to be a surprise, but not so outlandish as to be, oh, that's never going to happen. But yeah, there are some things out there that I think could actually catch the market off guard.
Maybe we should have some outlandish one later anyway.
Okay.
But let's go through our list of surprises.
Right.
So I think you've got a couple for the UK.
That's right. The first one I'd say is there's a slight chance that we could be surprised when it comes to the general election and actually see a majority government form. Right now, everybody's thinking that with Labour and the Conservatives neck and neck, it's going to be some sort of coalition or minority government propped up by special interests, either the SNP or even UKIP or the Ulster parties or the Greens. Who knows, right? But, for instance, let's say that the Labour Party doesn't get wiped out in Scotland. All right? Right now, the polls are saying Labour Party goes from around 41 seats to almost nothing. And they're saying the SNP is going to get most of them, or if not all of them. They're saying Lib Dems are going to go to 0. Conservatives are going to go from 1 to 0. All these could happen, and the polls suggest it will. But the polls ahead of the referendum were suggesting that the SNP and the referendum was going to say yes. So it's one of those things where we kind of look at it and say, do people actually respond to polls with what they're going to think they're going to do, or with what they're actually going to do?
Okay.
So let's say Labour hangs on to their seats. If they actually do well in some of the areas down in England and Wales, you could actually form some sort of Labour government.
Interesting.
And that's definitely not priced into the market.
That's a good point.
Another one might be, what happens if the Bank of England cuts rates this year?
Okay.
That is definitely not expected. Remember last year, every single investment bank in his granny was thinking that the Bank of England was going to be raising rates.
Hang on, you're talking about cutting rates.
I'm saying cutting rates.
Okay.
Right? Everybody thought
That's
they're going to
a good
raise rates
surprise.
last year. We kept saying they're not going to raise rates last year because we thought they'd go after the Fed.
Yeah.
And right now, we're still saying Bank of England has no reason to rush to raise rates. Okay? But what if they actually have to cut rates? Canada cut rates. They weren't supposed to. Australia's cut rates. And the Kiwis are thinking about leaning towards maybe rate cuts, which they were thinking about rate hikes before.
Okay.
So with the Eurozone doing everything they can to basically prime the pump and offer quantitative easing stimulus, taking rates to negative levels, Denmark's done the same, Switzerland's done the same. It's one of those things where you have to consider the possibility that the Bank of England gets dragged into this rate cutting fever that the rest of the world is in. And that's definitely not priced in.
What would trigger that?
Low inflation turning deflation or disinflation into deflation.
Okay.
Let's say a softer housing market. In fact, you could actually make the case for the housing market coming down under a lot of pressure if the Eurozone continues to tumble.
Okay.
Lower oil prices, heading some sort of jobs as well. You've already seen lots of job losses in the northeast of Scotland, or announced job losses. So that could easily trigger some sort of pullback in the UK economy.
Okay. Well,
now you're thinking, aren't you? You're saying that's not so unlikely.
Yeah. Well, shall we move to international markets? Okay. I think you got a couple. I got one as well. So maybe
I've
start.
got one on the oil price because we just talked about northeast of Scotland. What if an oil price doesn't stay at 40 or 50, but instead spikes up back to 100?
Okay.
Now that could come in the back of, let's say, boots on the ground in the IS countries, or territory, if you will. People might start taking that conflict there seriously. Right now they're relying on being able to pump out oil to fund their terrorist activities. What happens if people say, okay, hang on a minute, let's go solve this problem once and for all, or for now anyway, by putting boots on the ground.
Okay.
That would definitely make traders nervous. I think that would give you the spike in oil back to 100.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Now the other one would be the very expected unexpected, which is the U.S. economy is taking over. Jobless rate continues to drop. What happens if the Fed is right and the unemployment rate continues to improve and you see 5% printed this year and you see inflation go back up to 2%, which is what the Fed's looking for?
Okay.
I think that's not priced in. Bond rates are really low in the States right now. And you could make a case for this expected unexpected to actually send bond rates back up to 2.5, maybe 3% in the U.S. 10-year.
Okay. That's true. You have something on Russia as well.
Well, this is something that we've talked about all last year. And I kept saying, Russia's not going to default, Russia's not going to default. And now I'm thinking, well, actually, everybody's thinking the way I am, which Russia is not going to default. CDS rates, credit default swap rates are around 500. If you're going to default, they're going to be around 2,800 and 3,000, around there. So 500 is pricey compared to, let's say, the US or UK, which is around 20.
Mm-hmm.
So 500 is putting some risk in there, but not a heck of a lot of risk.
Okay.
The ruble's taking the brunt of the punishment when it comes to the actual, we don't like Russia sort of trade in the markets.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens if people start thinking that Russia could default? Then I think you're going to see a heck of a squeeze on Russian assets. And you're going to see a heck of a flight from Russian companies. And that could actually impact the Eurozone, not just Russian assets.
Pretty gloomy, isn't it?
That one is.
Okay.
And again, like I said, last year I kept saying they're not going to default, but this year I'm scratching my head and saying, well, you know what? If the screws get tightened a bit further, you could actually make a case for it.
Okay. Interestingly, I have talking about international market. I have a wheel as well. A surprise, I think. Probably not a unexpected surprise to some people, but I think in this year there will be a possibility that Japan and China enter into serious territorial dispute. We saw that occur quite a few times last couple of years.
It's been simmering for a while.
Well, yeah, but this time it's just very serious, such that it caused a lot of movement in the market. Market drops a lot. The interesting thing is, because of that, the Japanese Prime Minister Abe strengthened his control, because he has been arguing for changing the military of Japan to more from a self-defense to a little bit more proactive things.
Correct.
And he's quite nationalistic. If such a UN a territorial dispute actually escalate, it strengthens his hold on the government. And more interestingly, because of that, his reforms on the economic front may actually be more widely accepted and easier to go through. Okay. So oddly, the market may be down a bit, but then Japan basically say, okay, the reforms are going through, it will rally. So that's one of my little forecasts.
So you're looking for height and escalations, a little bit of tension, not outright warfare or anything, just more strength to Abe. Okay,
correct.
I like that.
It's just a little bit. Both governments getting more nationalistic, and you expect that. Should we look at a couple of companies, shall we? We talk a little bit about some of the negative surprises, or not negative, unexpected surprises on companies. You got one, I think, Google.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's been a pet data ambition of mine. Is what if Google decides to look around and say, you know what? We're really good at amalgamating data, sorting data, and making data presentable. That is what Google's great at. You know, the whole word Google means look something up now, right? Everybody uses that. What if they say the financial market needs Googling in terms of all the data that's out there, all the data that Bloomberg and other systems right now compile and distribute for you for a heck of a hefty fee? What if Google says, let's make it available to everybody?
For free.
For free. All the banks are doing it. That's a huge cost for all the banks. Every single dealer, sales guy, whatever, is spending $3,000 a month on systems in front of them. If that went out the window, that's $3,000 a month to the bottom line.
Okay.
Every individual investor would love it. All of a sudden, you could look up your share, see all the information that the professionals see right now, see all the charts, see all the data, manipulate the data, run your own models. So that's an unexpected one.
I got one as well.
Okay.
Uber. Yeah. Okay. Now you know they are actually conquering the world of taxis.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's my prediction. They actually got a new business model, and because of that, they got listed this year, become the biggest IPO in history, beating even Alibaba.
Wow.
And what's the new business model? They're going to take up courier.
Okay.
Why not? Taxi, shipping people around, courier, shipping goods around. So if I need goods, I don't need UPS, don't need Federal Express, etc.
So part of the sharing economy would be we take parcels around in our car.
Correct. And then what is going to happen is that UPS and Federal Express got so much pressure, they have to force to merge.
Okay.
So never know. Never say never.
All right. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Tell me. I think we actually now come more towards the end. Let's get some outlandish ones, shall we?
Outlandish?
Yeah.
Oof. Looking at my list, and probably the most outlandish one would be in the Rugby World Cup.
Oh my God, okay.
What if Scotland wins it? Nobody's expecting that. Okay. I think everybody's expecting one of the heavyweights. England, Wales. Maybe one of the Southern Hemisphere teams actually doing well in the Northern Hemisphere. Who knows? Maybe France is probably as far as outliers as people want to go. Why not Scotland? They might pip it.
Yeah, I know you live there, so you got that local preference there, I can see.
And do you have any advantage?
Oh, this one I have to say it, although I will probably end this unexpected surprises nicely. You know Arnold Schwarzenegger came
Love
back
him.
to the movies,
Yep.
and this is a new movie on Terminator again. He did so poorly on that, he decided to go back to politics.
Really?
And he managed to find a loophole on the election law in the US, and he became the Republican president candidate for 2016. His campaign just say 2 words, I'll be back, hasta la vista, baby. Thank you for watching.